Well, hello everyone, I'm Zwigo and we are back with another installment of the Can You Beat runs. This time I got a highly requested one. I myself thought it was very interesting and cool. Namely, can you beat Pokemon Red with only Eeveelutions? A lot of people have these as their favorite Pokemon and I can see why, but I can't see why they love the Gen 1 sprites though, they are horrible. Fun fact, I have never played through a Generation 1 game before, although my first game was Pokemon Fire Red, which is Gen 3, so I never really had the urge to play Pokemon Red, Blue or Yellow because in my mind, the remakes were a better version of them. But I was really surprised with the game. It's a lot different because all the Pokemon learn different moves and there's slight differences in there besides the graphics of course. But that's besides the point. Let's get into the rules, shall we? Rule number 1, only Eeveelutions in battle of course. Rule number 2, no items in battle and also no held items. And rule number 3, HM boys will be allowed. And with the rules being said, let's get right into my first playthrough of Pokemon Red. We name ourselves Zwigo and our rival, hey! We shrink down to ant size and we head straight to the lab with Professor Oak. We will be starting off with Flareon because he will be at a disadvantage against the first two gyms. We name him Vaughn and we also give our rival Squirtle to give him the advantage over our Flareon, and because Blastoise is the bulkiest of the three, so we'll have the hardest time to take him down. Our first battle goes as you would expect, we easily take out the Squirtle with a few tackles. We don't play around and we head straight into our second battle with him. I decided to level up a little bit in the grass but not too much. On our first attempt we got very unlucky because his Pidgey just kept spamming Sand Attack, which caused a lot of our moves to miss, so we lost our first battle. But don't worry, we head back straight away. His Pidgey doesn't hit us at all with any sand attacks this time, so we take it out with just 3 embers. We got damaged a little bit, but I think we got this. And we do! We take down the Squirtle with an ember and 2 quick attacks, and we still had about 1/3 of our health remaining this time. Now it's the infamous bind battle with Brock. Hopefully we don't get stuck here so that we have to wrap it up. Okay, bad puns aside, Brock wasn't even that hard because we actually did decent damage with our ember, and I did level up before this fight because I thought it would be a little bit tougher, but none of his Pokemon had rock type moves, so we easily ran through him without too many problems. After we got our first gym badge, it was time to hike through Mount Moon, and of course we have to grab ourselves the Helix Fossil so that we can get some good luck for the rest of this run. We arrive in Cerulean City and we go straight to the Nugget Bridge to fight. This time his Pidgey has evolved into a Pidgeotto and his Rattata and an Abra have also been added to the team. At this point our Flareon is a little bit overleveled, which is something that I wanted to avoid, but that's what you get for only having access to one Pokemon at this moment in time. We take out the Pidgeotto with just 2 embers, Abra also goes down in 2 and Rattata in just 1. Last up is his Squirtle who manages to hit us with a few super effective bubbles, but because of the low power and our higher level, it barely does any damage, so we take him down with just 3 attacks. We skip the Bill stuff and go straight to the second gym, which is water type, so I was very afraid of coming into this battle. But because of all the trainers on the Nugget Bridge and the surrounding route, we got a lot of levels. Her first Pokemon is a Staryu, so I try an Ember. I know that Quick Attack is stronger, but I wanted to make it a little bit more difficult for myself. But she just uses an X-Defend, and our second Ember burns him. And her Water Gun barely does any damage, so onto her Starmie. Our first Quick Attack is a crit, which does big damage. We get hit with a Water Gun, but it's of no use because our second Quick Attack takes her down and the second gym badge is ours. We head to the Titanic where coincidentally we find once again. His team has evolved since last time, literally. 3 of his 4 Pokemon have evolved, so let's see what Vaughn can do here. His first Pokemon Pidgeotto manages to tank an Ember, so he wastes a potion on it. Next turn we get ourselves some fried chicken, nice. We also get ourselves some fried rat because his Raticate goes down in just 1 ember, and then Kadabra takes our embers surprisingly well because the special stat in this game is special attack and defense combined. So with that in mind, we go into the final Pokemon, Wartortle. 2 quick attacks manage to take it down without taking too much damage. We head across town to search some trash cans for a few buttons, and we got it pretty quickly this time, so we can challenge our sergeant straight away. His first two Pokemon, Voltorb and Pikachu, go down with one single Ember, and last up is his Raichu, who is a little bit more bulky, but he just wastes his turn using Growl, so we take this gym leader down without taking any damage. Very nice! We get the Thunder Badge and head straight to Celadon City to get ourselves an Eevee, which we name Spark because obviously we will be evolving into a Jolteon. We then look up some Game Shark codes so that we can catch ourselves a third Eevee in the grass, but wait, this isn't an Eevee? This looks more like a missing no. After capturing it, it does turn out to be an Eevee, so we give it the name Bubbles and a Water Stone so that we can evolve it into a Vaporeon. With our full team assembled, we can go and challenge the fourth gym, which is Grass type. I know that I can just sweep through this with Vaughn, but I would rather do it with Spark to get some extra levels. We start off with a T-Bolt, which barely does anything, but we also got hit with a critical Razor Leaf, which is broken in Gen 1 because critical hits are based on the user's base speed and Razor Leaf already has a higher chance to crit. We get hit with another Razor Leaf, but two more Thunderbolts manage to finish her off after we paralyze it. Tangela is next and we hit it with a T-Bolt for amazing damage actually. But he wraps us, so we go down and we send out Bubbles to finish the job with a lot of tackles and bubble beams. Her last Pokemon is Vileplume, so I switch into Vaughn to end the battle with 2 Embers. We get the 4th gym badge and go to the game corner to do some gambling. Somehow we find ourselves in the basement of the game corner. I don't know how we got here, but the team Rocket Head Giovanni is actually here. He always leads off with his Onix, so I send out Bubbles to take it out with 1 Bubble Beam. His Rhyhorn shares the same fate as Onix, so last up is Kangaskhan. He starts off by using a Guard Spec, and our Bubble Beam does half his health. He hits us with a Comet Punch and our Bubble Beam almost finishes him off. He bites us one last time before we take the W though. We disband his hideout and we sweep through the fighting dojo to get some extra levels. I forgot to do the rival fight in Lavender Town, so let's do that first. His Pidgeotto goes down with 2 Bubble Beams and he then stupidly decides to send out Growlithe, who of course gets one shot as well. Execute gets one hit with an Ember and Kadabra and Wartortle also get electrocuted with our Thunderbolt. Easiest rival fight ever. I should have done this one first though, because this really was way too easy for the levels that I'm at. We grab ourselves the Pokeflute from Mr. Fuji so that we can wake up these fat bastards that are blocking the road. After clearing through about 1 million trainers, we finally reach Fuchsia City and we don't waste any time and we challenge Koga straight away. His first Coughing gets 1 shot and his second Pokemon is Muck. He's an easy 2-shot after we miss one of our attacks because of a Minimize. The second Coughing shares the same fate as the first one, and last up is his Weezing. We get a lucky critical hit to take out the Weezing and earn ourselves the 5th gym badge. We backtrack a whole bunch to head back to Saffron City to save the Silk Co Company from Giovanni and his minions. But first we have to fight again, and he starts off with a Pidgeot, and we misclick so that he gets a chance to attack. Luckily it's nothing major, just a sand attack, so we kill it next turn. Growlithe get 1 shot by a Thunderbolt, and I should have switched to Vaughn here, but I stayed in, and Execute doesn't get 1 shot, so he Leech Seeds us. We miss our next 2 Thunderbolts, so we get hit with a few attacks before we take it out. Next up is Alakazam, so we switch in Bubbles to deal with him. We again get lucky with a critical Surf, and Alakazam goes down. His last Pokemon is Blastoise, but I misclick, so his Water Gun hits us for really bad damage actually. 1 Thunderbolt finishes the job. Heads off and we go into the final teleport path to fight Giovanni. His first Pokemon, Nidorino, just gets KO'd by a Surf. Kangaskhan is up next and he also goes down with 1 Surf. Actually, the rest of his entire team just goes down in 1 Surf. I didn't know that Gen 1 was this easy. Sorry guys, next time that I finish Gen 1, I will do it with 1 Pokemon only to see if it's still that easy. After defeating Giovanni, we go ahead and we talk to the head of the Silph Co Company. He tries to give us a Master Ball, but our bag is full and I'm too lazy to throw something out, so screw that Master Ball. Time to head across town to our local fortune teller, Sabrina. She tells us that we will lose this fight, so let's see if she's right. Kadabra goes down with a single Thunderbolt and Mr. Mime also gets 1 shot. Butterfree, I mean Venomoth comes out. The reason that I said it like that is because apparently they got their evolution switched during the making of this game, which is pretty cool to know actually. I just read that, I don't know if that's actually true. We managed to get another lucky crit. I swear to god I get so many crits in this run. So Venomoth dies and next up is Alakazam. Just 2 serves and 1 quick attack later and we can add the Mars badge to our collection. No messing about. Straight into Quizmaster's Blame Gym, and as you guys may expect, we just one-shot his Growlithe, Ponyta, Rapidash, and Arcanine with 1 surf. Literally the easiest gym ever. The last and final gym is Giovanni, and I decided to lead with Vaughn to make it a little bit harder on myself, but his first Pokemon Rhydal still went down in just 3 non-very effective Embers. Dugtrio is next, and he takes us down with a single dig. So we go back into Bubbles to take down Dugtrio, Nidoqueen, Nidoking, and finally Rhydon, all with 1 single surf. Vaporeon is OP, I'm telling you. Last gym badge acquired, and you know what that means, it's A time. Pidgeot goes down with just 1 single Thunderbolt as expected, and Hao is back at it again with a Rhyhorn, so 1 surf takes him down. Little doggy Growlithe also goes down with 1 surf, and Execute is next, so it's Vaughn's time to shine. He actually manages to tank an Ember, but wastes his turn by setting up a Solar Beam, so we take him down. Alakazam then decides to go for a recover while he's on full health, so we go for a Body Slam to paralyze him and take him out next turn. Blastoise is last, so we switch into Spark to almost one-shot it with a Thunderbolt, but he lives with a slither of health and sets up a Skull Bash. So next turn he just goes down. With the rival fight out of the way, we can head straight to the Pokemon League. And the first member is the Ice-type specialist Lorelei. We challenge her and her first Pokemon Dewgong manages to tank a Thunderbolt. So she hits us with an Aurora Beam. We easily tank it and electrocute it next turn. Dewgong goes down and she sends out her Cloyster, but this one actually isn't bulky enough to tank a T-Bolt, so it just goes down. Slowbro actually hangs on with 1 HP from our Thunderbolt and she uses a Super Potion. Wait, what? Why are they still using this and not full restores? Hands down, Gen 1 is the easiest gen ever. I said it. Next up is Jinx, so we switch into Vaughn and we get hit with a Body Slam. So we go for an Ember, but it's not doing enough damage. So next turn I opt to go for Body Slam, but first we gotta get a hit with a lot of Slippy Slaps before we can take Jinx down. Lapras is up last, so I switch back into Spark to take it down with 1 critical Thunderbolt. First Elite 4 member down, time to fight Bruno. I know by now that his lead is an Onix, so I start off with Bubbles to take it down with a single surf. Hitmonchan is next, and I don't know how, but we also one-shot it with a surf. His next 2 Pokemon Onix and Hitmonlee also go down in 1 surf, and his last Pokemon is Machamp. We bring him down through a slither of health with surf, and he wastes his final turn on a focus energy, so he goes down very easily. The third member is Agatha, but in this game her Gengar's special defense is through the roof. We start off with Vaughn and we hit the Gengar with 2 Embers before we go down to 3 Nightshades. We send out Spark and finish the job with a Thunderbolt. Her next Pokemon Golbat goes down in just 1 T-Ball, and next up is Haunter. We get lucky to paralyze him with our first Thunderbolt so that he can't hit us. And the second one takes it down. She switches in Arbok, so I go for Bubbles, but she switches out immediately to her Gengar. We start surfing, but he actually hits us with a Confuse Ray. Another surf and she uses a Super Potion. Repeat that process again, and next turn she uses Toxic. A few more surfs manage to do the job, and last up is her Arbok. We managed to get a crit once again with a Thunderbolt to take it out. I have never had so much luck in a run. RNG gods are on my side this time. Thank you, Lord Helix, I knew I should have picked you. But I'm going to need some extra luck to beat Lance. His Gyarados goes down easy enough. 1 Thunderbolt just obliterates it. Next up is Dragonair, but we actually miss 3 of our Blizzards. I know it's 70% accuracy, but please, that's not 70%. And in that time we only got hit once with a Dragon Rage. Our 4th one hits to take it out. We learn Hydro Pump and replace Quick Attack because I don't think we will be needing that anymore. Another Dragonair comes out, and this time we hit our first Blizzard to take it out. Aerodactyl then comes out to hit us very hard with a Hyper Beam, but we managed to hang on. Our Hydro Pump hits and it's way stronger, so Aerodactyl goes down in just one hit. And now his last Pokemon, Dragonite, comes out, and boy is this thing a staller with barrier and agility. It just didn't want to go down. He starts off by setting up an agility, and we miss our Hydro Pump as he sets up another barrier. Our second Hydro Pump hits, doing about 1/5 of his health. Next turn he goes for a Hyper Beam, which is enough to take us out. We send out Vaughn, but our Body Slams barely do any damage because of all the barriers. We did manage to paralyze him as he hits us very hard with a Hyper Beam. He then heals up with a Hyper Potion and a lot more Body Slams later. Finally, we finish the job. The Elite Four is down, so time for our final battle with He starts off with his Pidgeot like always. We hit it with a T-Bolt, but he lives with a slither of health. He wastes his turn setting up a Sky Attack, so we take him down with a Quick Attack. Next up is Alakazam, so we switch in Vaughn and we immediately get hit with a big Psychic. Our Body Slam does very decent damage, but next turn Vaughn goes down. We switch in Bubbles and Alakazam goes for a Recover while we hit him with a Double Edge. We get hit with a Psychic and next turn he goes down to another Double Edge. Rhydon dies as quickly as he got sent down because our Surf just drowns him. Arcanine's up next and he hits us with a Takedown, and sadly we have to obliterate him with a Surf as well. Now he sends out Executor. Really weird way of choosing your Pokemon here. Gen 1 AI has a lot to learn. Our first Blizzard hits, which is a crit. It almost goes down, but he heals up with a full restore. We hit it with another Blizzard, taking him down to half health. He then hits us a few times with a Barrage, and then another Blizzard finishes the Executor off. Last up is his Blastoise, and it's time for Spark to shine. One Thunderbolt takes him down into red health, so he heals up. Another one, and he almost goes down as he hits us with a Blizzard. We manage to tank it very easily, and one last Thunderbolt, and we get ourselves the title of Pokemon League Champion. As you can see, this didn't take me that long because the speed up in Gen 1 is crazy. But this challenge was pretty fun to do. I managed to complete it in probably the record time for me for a challenge, which is actually pretty nice. I don't even know if I can even call this a challenge. We only lost once, and that was against our rival when we were like level 10. But that aside, it did feel good to just sweep through the entire game. My next challenge run is probably going to be a Christmas special, but I'm going to try to get another one out before that. If not, I'll try something else, but after our Christmas special, we'll definitely be going to do a solo Pokemon run, so that I can actually be challenged. So be on the lookout for that. Also guys, don't forget to join the Discord, follow me on Twitter, all those things, links will be in the description. And as always people, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. I'm Zwigo, and I'll see you guys next time.